Welcome everybody to ReDefy Academy League Week 4. I am the small dog, and joining me tonight is Siphon. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to join in on the this event and this league. I think it's really interesting, and I'm very excited to be a part of it tonight.
Yeah, tonight's games should be pretty good. We've got two from the Domination League, so it's going to be Predictive Gaming Raijin and Black Mamba Esports Academy. So something to note about these teams: Black Mamba Esports Academy have already dropped a set to this team. Predictive Gaming Raijin has already gone 2-0 against them. So I think the expectations going into this one is it is going to probably be favored towards Predictive Gaming.
Yeah, I would definitely have to think that, especially since how they've topped the groups. And they're topping the group right now. Obviously, they are sitting. They're currently sitting 3-0 undefeated right now, and that's got to be the favorite right now. I would think anyway, as we get into this game. But at the same time, this is the second best team in the group, as I believe they're 2-1 right now.
Yeah.
And if anyone's going to be able to give the top dogs a challenge, it should be these guys.
Yeah, and something to note is Predictive Gaming is coming off of sort of a loss last night. They did lose to Revenge Nation Turquoise, but we'll see if they can shake off those jitters and come back here. So we do have one sub in the top lane. Almont is going to be filling in. I think he's played just a few games. I think he's only played 2 games with this team. He has subbed for the other Predictive Gaming team in the league. But going with that Cassiopeia top. Yeah, let's get into draft a little bit, because we kind of missed out on a lot of these picks coming through, and so they are in the order of who's playing them. But if we go through just real quick in the pro draft here, so Samira was the first pick for Black Mamba, so picking up that new champion, super powerful pick in the bot lane, I believe is where she's going to get played. But yeah, power pick getting picked up right away.
Yeah, definitely so. And I definitely think that the Samira is one of the best AD carries right now. And especially when you just consider how overpowered her kit is right now. I definitely think it's the new first pick on the block AD carry. After Caitlyn kind of dominated things for a while, I think now it's going to be the Samira's turn. And honestly, this thing is pick or ban. You cannot let this thing go through. Because it's gonna be super, super tough to try to get something past it. I know in solo queue the win rates are a little bit modest, but I think that's just because people are still starting to learn her and things like that. So I'll be curious to see what Bluebird has prepared tonight.
Absolutely. And Black Mamba, they ended up banning out Hecarim, Ahri, Caitlyn. So taking away power pick in the jungle, power pick in the mid lane, and also that lane bully in the bot lane. However, that did leave open the Echo. So Echo Ezreal getting first picked for Predictive Gaming. And they ended up banning away Fizz, Renekton, and Graves. So again, 2 of the junglers that have kind of dominated a lot of pro scene, as well as just solo queue play as well. Graves very, very strong with his mobility, a lot of extra damage, and Hecarim just his ability to get onto the back line and shake things up a bit. But I do think it is something to note, though, that they decided to go for things like the Caitlyn and Ahri ban instead of something like the Echo. Echo can affect team fights dramatically.
Yeah, definitely he can. And Echo is one of the better mid laners right now, especially in my opinion, just because he is able to basically take over the game a lot faster than a lot of other mid laners. And it's just kind of out of nowhere. It's really subtle. Once he gets that protoball complete and he starts to get pieces of second item, whatever he chooses to go for at the time, he will instantly just kind of flip a switch, and all of a sudden he's super unstoppable. He's really fast. He does a ton of damage, and it's really, really hard to kind of contain him. So I really like the Echo pick, because it also can play. It can play aggressively, but also it can play safe, and you still are getting the power of this pick.
Yeah, there's a lot of versatility in how you can play Echo. He is a great champion for getting on those flanks, being able to get onto the backline, deal a lot of damage. And at the same time, he can also play a front to back style. He can protect, say Ezreal gets fed or Cassiopeia gets fed. He can protect her and play more of a defensive play style. And I think Predictive Gaming rounded out their comp pretty well with the Braum. Picking up the Poppy as well. That's a champion that has been played before for looks like Sly Old Man in the jungle. So definitely getting some comfort picks that they've used before. Almont has also been on that Cassio before. So definitely comfortable up there. And I expect that top lane to go heavily in the favor of the Cassiopeia. Actually, is it I totally missed it when we were looking at the other one.
It is Shen top lane. That was
Okay.
what the champion select showed. So I actually wanted to talk about
Urgot
that
jungle?
because they chose to put Urgot in the jungle, which is quite
Yeah.
interesting to me because it's been a while since Urgot was a viable jungler, at least in the common sense. So I'm not actually quite sure the experience level that he has with Urgot jungle. So that'll be interesting to watch here, but. He does play a lot of carry junglers, and that is something that I think that's why they gravitated towards this, and especially if they can use that to maybe set up that Shen early, because there is a decent amount of early damage there, and good enough set up there with the taunt, and then with the Urgot dash, obviously, there's enough there to make something work.
Yeah, and Predictive Gaming obviously respecting the jungle presence for the side of Black Mamba. They banned out the Graves, Evelyn, as well as the Lilia, so really wanting to force him back on maybe, third or fourth pick. And yeah, going for the Urgot, something that we actually haven't seen from him in this league before. So that's going to be a really interesting matchup. I'm excited to see how that plays out. Poppy and Urgot, two kind of unorthodox junglers. But yeah, so, to go back this mid lane, we've got Rumble versus the Echo, unless, of course, the Shen and Rumble decide to swap. But I expect that Shen to go top lane just because he has the Stand United, can get involved so quickly. But yeah, I think both of these champions in the mid lane have such a huge presence when you're going into team fights that junglers are going to look to spend a lot of time in that mid lane.
Yeah, I definitely think that is something that can be. That could be a possibility, but I think I also think that they're going to be looking at a lot of 2v2 fights with these players, just because Echo is going to probably not. If they're unable to get advantages in the mid lane, they're going to probably want to look to move that Echo out and look to use the the great speed of the Echo and the mobility of the Echo to try to create things in other areas of the map. So I do think we could be seeing also a lot of 2v2s with the pick that has come in as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. The bot lanes, we were talking about this a little bit before we went on. Ezreal versus Samira, kind of an interesting bot lane. I think this kind of goes in the favor of Ezreal early game, but Samira scales pretty decently, and with Nautilus, you have a lot of pick potential. And Predictive Gaming, they're playing, I feel like, a more passive bot lane. Using the Braum, Ezreal, a lot of escape tools, a lot of defensive tools. But I do think going into the mid game, it's going to be a lot about Cassiopeia. I'm pretty sure Predictive Gaming is going to want to get the Cassiopeia, to hit her power spikes, and then go into those team fights, protecting her. With the Braum, Poppy's able to peel for the Cassiopeia as well. Echo potentially can peel or disrupt the backline. And if they do get her ahead, she's going to be an absolute menace against this team.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and it's going to be the positioning of the Cassiopeia from All Might, that's really going to depend on how well this pick is going to do. And I think the Poppy pick was really intelligent for this reason because, obviously with the W ability of the Poppy, you can use that to kind of stop the dash from sub TBD. You can use that to stop one from Bio. You can also use it to stop one from Flapicine and from Mr. Top. So that's obviously all well and good, and I think that was really intelligent from them. So the Rumble is going to be incredibly important as well here for Mamba Esports here, just because he's the only one that's going to be able to slow her down enough to get the whole thing started.
Absolutely. So while we have a quick pause here, I guess we are going to get underway. But I did want to mention, so Siphon, you're new to the community here. I just want you to introduce yourself real quick. Just tell people real briefly who you are, where you came from, that sort of thing.
So I'm currently I'm a color caster, and I have been working in amateur esports. I kind of started to get into the amateur esports scene, casting wise, around in May. That was about when I started, and I've been working a lot with Excellency Esports, as they've hooked me up with a lot of sweet opportunities. And most recently, I've been working regularly with Midnight Gaming League with their Dusk and Dawn leagues, as we've been casting. I've been casting over their playoffs and their regular seasons as well. But this was an interesting league and I was interested in taking it because I actually had nothing going on this week, so I was really excited to come here this one.
That's awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. Yeah, I honestly, we didn't quite have anybody selected for tonight, so Turtle didn't respond to me, but yeah. So, but we are super glad to have you, and hopefully we get to cast some more games with you in the future too, as we have slight technical difficulties here. We'll get those figured out in just a moment. But just to touch back on the draft again, we've touched about the Poppy. I think that was a really smart pick. There's a lot of dashes. Shen is a huge one that you want to be able to block. So Poppy's a really smart pick into this. And I think the overall team composition here for Predictive Gaming seems a little bit more defensive, whereas you're looking at Black Mamba Esports. It seems like they want to get those 5v5 team fights a little bit more with the Samira Infernal Trigger going off. You've got your Equalizer. So I think they're going to look to do a bit more 5v5 team fighting in those corridors. But Predictive Gaming, honestly, I think their composition actually counters that pretty well.
Yeah, I think Predictive Gaming did a good job with the reactionary and making their counter picks really matter. And I think Black Mamba Esports have an interesting comp because, in my opinion, I do think they're kind of built around the Samira and her ability to kind of go in and dance around. So I think that's what I think they're going to be looking at. Obviously, with Stand United, with that Urgot as well, and it's going to the Samira I think is going to help try to kickstart off that fight potentially with Bio or Long Range Equalizer, and then from there everybody's just kind of partying together, and it should all work out just because of how all their champs should synergize. So that's something that I think they did a really good job with, is picking champions that are all going to kind of work together really well. But as you said, Predictive Gaming did a really good job with their answers, and I think that they do have the comp that potentially could be what could help them out against this really good team fight comp that Black Mamba Esports have drafted. And I think another underrated piece that we're going to need to be watching is the Braum here from Mr. Bonehard, as he is going to be imperative in making sure that Nautilus engages are going to be kind of stuff, and in particular denying Samira's damage as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we do see a bit of a skirmish level 1 here. Flash is going to come out for Sly. He'll get the stun against the wall, and Dionysus is going to go down. Flopper Goblin will pick up the first kill as Sly's got to run away. He might end up falling here, but Flopper Goblin may be able to return a kill. Level 3 on both of these members. Teleport's going to come through. Flopper Goblin is actually going to go down. So first blood going over to Predictive Gaming, but 2 kills for Black Mamba.
Wow. I mean,
it's actually
really
not over. The Ignite in the bot lane. Bluebird getting a kill for himself. That's huge. There's so much action already. 3 minutes into the game.
Man, who said Ezreal loses lane? I mean, honestly, what kind of idiot color caster said that? But anyway, wow, that was fantastic there from Fapusin right there, as he ends up picking up the double kill there in that 2v2. What really south on as Sly did get caught out there, but he had a great play. He ends up flashing and pinning up the Rumble up against the wall, and ends up pretty much soloing him out there. And I actually thought that fight was going to turn around because they were both Lapucine and Flopper Goblin were alive and still kicking at each other, and the teleport was coming through from the Rumble there. And for whatever, and then all of a sudden Urgot just decided, all right, nope, this fight's over, and I'm going to get that double kill. So really big stuff from them, as Black Mamba Esports are going to remain tied here at 2 kills because of that 2v2 kill on the bot lane there. Really, and that was really awesome stuff there from Bluebird and from Mr. Bonehard. They're in a losing matchup against, I would consider a losing matchup, especially against Samira, who is one of the best AD carries right now. And the fact that they could set her behind and get that Ezreal a little bit started on his tier, we got to fight in the jungle maybe.
Yeah, collapse here for Flopper Goblin. Stun gonna come out onto Flappuccino, or I did it. I was trying not to. But now the stun's gonna come out onto Dionysus as well. Flappacine, that is how you pronounce it. And 2 kills easily picked up there for Predictive Gaming. Just Black Mamba getting a little caught out, and now this might be first dragon.
That was a really interesting hitbox there on the stun there. I didn't actually think it was going to hit there from Sly, but he somehow makes it work when they didn't even touch the wall. But, you know, Riot hitboxes aside, really well played again. And Foxine just getting a little bit too aggressive there. He ends up paying the price with not only his life, but also with his Rumble's life as well. So that's 2 kills going over again. And this Echo, very, very strong. And it looks like we're not done.
Yeah, I don't know if they really want this fight. Black Mamba might be in a bit of trouble. Sub TBD has to flash out, but the kill's going to get picked up by Ezreal. 1 traded back onto the side of Black Mamba. Bluebird might be dead here as well. He has no skills to move himself out of that team fight. And 2 kills picked back up, evening things back up just a little bit as Flopper Goblin backs off.
And critically, the Rumble doesn't get another assist. Like, Rumble is sitting here at 0-2 and 0. Like, he is hurting right now because he's missed a ton. He's missed a decent amount of farm. He's died twice. His lane opponent has 3 kills for and this guy just desperately needed some of those assists, and he somehow didn't get any of them right there. So that's really, really unfortunate for the Rumble right now, and that's gonna kind of hurt us. Now, once the Echo is able to go back, and once Flopper Goblin is going to look to pick up the Revolver and start to probably work towards, I would think would be the Proto Belt, but he also could potentially work towards the Gunblade, particularly since he is ahead. You know, so he really could go either way with his build at this point in time. And yeah, you look at that gold disparity. I mean, that's almost 1,200 gold in favor of the Echo at 6 minutes. Like, that is just something that is very hard to deal with.
Yeah, and Rumble, a champion that doesn't need to be particularly fed, but he does have to have some items to be useful in those team fights. So, you know, losing out that lane kind of early here, I think Flopper Goblin is going to have an advantage once he's able to recall. But the thing for Black Mamba right now is they've got 4 kills on Flapacine. He was able to go back, pick up jungle item, and yeah, he's going to be looking huge going into the mid game as a great max range hook lands on a Bluebird. Yeah, you got to be a little bit careful of those.
Yeah, you definitely do, and a bit of a poorly timed arcane shift. There's an end up not input buffering that, but one thing that's interesting here is that both junglers have been involved in 4 of the kills. Obviously, the kill participation is a little bit different just because there's been 5 kills here for Predictive and 4 kills only for Black Mamba. But for these 2 junglers have been pretty much involved with every single thing that's gone down on the map so far. So aside from that 1 solo kill in the bottom lane, so that's obviously really impactful for both junglers. And I think Sly in particular, I feel like his champion is just a little bit weaker than the Urgot in terms of the early game. And I think we could see a dive coming out.
Depth charge going to come through. Blue flashes on top. He's going to take a lot of damage. The will fall. 1 kill traded back for sub TBD as the team is caught underneath the tower. They do get 1 more kill picking up Bonehard. But yeah, 2 for 2 trade. A bit of a botched dive right there.
Yeah, and it ends up not looking too good there at the end of the day as Sly comes in. He's a little bit too late though, and I do lose a couple of members here, but they end up making it even at the end of the day. But critically, that Shen TP'd down, so he had to burn his TP to come back. Into lane. So he's now down the Stand United. He's down his own teleport. Cassiopeia stayed, continued to build up the CS advantage and start to push this Shen in as well. And pretty soon here, I think Alamay is going to be able to go back and get basically like a free base, and he won't even have to teleport back unless he wants to. But that's obviously something that he can, if he can delay it a little bit more, that dragon will be up in, you know, about 1:34 right now. So if he delays this a little bit longer, he could potentially look to parlay this into setting up to going. He can be down for dragon and then go back to top.
Yep. And I do want to point out Proto Belt is going to get completed there for Echo in the mid lane. So yeah, that is a huge lane advantage for him right now. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. He's got Sorcerer Boots as opposed to like the Dark Seal, Amp Tome, and Doran's Shield for the side of Dionysus. So yeah, I think Dionysus is going to be behind this game, and I think Black Mamba as a team, they've kind of got to accept that. It's going to be really hard to kill this Echo. So they've basically got to say, okay, Dionysus, you've got to farm. We're going to look towards other lanes. And I think they are looking towards that bottom lane. You see a bit of a CS discrepancy already building up. They tried to make the dive work. They did get a 2 for 2, but yeah, I think the bot lane is their play right there. The top lane is also very immobile.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I'm surprised they haven't actually made a move towards that top lane yet, just because the Cassiopeia has been pushing, and they have pretty good setup there with the taunt, and obviously the flash being available, but also with the Urgot as well. So I'm kind of surprised the move hasn't been made towards it yet, but yeah, this is looking quite tough here, but I actually don't hate the Dark Seal here from the Rumble, and
Sure.
that's because when you're behind, especially on a mage, if you pick up the Dark Seal, obviously it's going to hurt a lot more when you're doing what he's doing right now, which is stuck at 0 stacks. But if he can start to pick up some stacks here, so we have a bit of a 2v2 coming out in the mid lane right now.
Yeah, Urgot gonna gank through the jungle. Ultimate coming back for Flapper Goblin. Equalizer will come down. Not enough damage coming out though. The Lapicine is in a lot of trouble here. Does get knocked up, but not enough damage coming through for Predictive Gaming. Just a bit of a back and forth.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, except for the Echo, wanted that one.
Yeah. Ooh. Thank you, Omega, for the raid, by the way.
But
sending love. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Omega, for the raid. And I wanted to go back really quick to the Rumble point, which was if you're behind and you're sitting at 0 stacks, obviously Dark Seal's not going to feel too good. But if you're able to pick up those stacks and he's able to max this thing out, you know, within the next few minutes, he'll be honestly right back in the game. You know, of course, assuming he doesn't lose his stacks, and that's obviously the big deal about Dark Seal. And if you're able to get back into the game, you're able to start popping off. All of a sudden, your Dark Seal is going to go up really quick, and then all of a sudden, you've got all this extra AP that you don't know what to do with.
Sure.
And so that's obviously why it's a good investment, particularly since I think this game, his equalizers at max range to mid range are going to be very critical.
Sure, absolutely. And I think it is key for Black Mamba for him to get back in this game quite a bit, as Mr. Top is kind of in a bit of trouble. He has to get forced out of lane, but Almat, I think his Spidey sense was tingling a little bit, or I guess Snake sense. 3 members responding up there for Black Mamba. Yeah, so he did not want to follow that one through.
Yeah, and Mr. Bonehead continues to be on the roam here, and I actually kind of like that decision just because he's roaming at a good time where he's not endangering his AD carry. His AD carry is not obviously having to lose farm because he's roaming, so yeah, those are big deals to me that he's making sure while he is roaming, he is getting that impact like we've seen the impact of his roams on a couple of times. He just hasn't put his AD carry in such a bad spot. Like obviously oh, never mind, we have a fight down in the bottom lane. Yeah, Hook's gonna land, jump right in there for Samira. Glacial Fissure will come out, but Samira is super low, does not want to be in the position. Teleport will come through. Echo Stand United comes down, but does not continue, and Blue's gonna get picked up as well. 2 for 1 coming through there. Samira does get herself a kill, as Rumble's in a bit of trouble here in the mid lane. Equalizer does come down, but the Poppy damage just a little bit too much with that jungle item completed now. And all in all, that's 3 kills picked up there. Dragon not spawning for 3 more minutes, but lane pressure coming out pretty strong for Predictive Gaming. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not too sure about the all-in for the Braum, but might not be worth it. It might not be worth it. Somebody might have told me that one time. That's not worth the all-in for the tank sport, but yeah, it ends up costing them dearly because obviously Flapper Goblin can rotate down. Sly was in the area to make sure the roam from the Rumble wasn't ever going to be a realistic possibility. And the Shen just unable to get much of an impact right now in this early game. Right now, Alme is putting so much down in this top side. It's been very tough for the Shen to really get anything done, and he's now about to lose his second turret plate here. He's down a significant chunk of CS, and it's starting to look a little bit tough here in this spot right now for Black Mamba Esports, just because like obviously your team fighting is your strength, but when this comp that just is designed almost perfectly to shut you down gets strong, I mean, how do you come back unless it's off the back of a critical mistake? Yeah, it's got to be a critical mistake indeed. Black Mamba Esports in kind of a hard place right now as the Rift Herald will get picked up and dropped, and we see about a 4K gold lead swinging in the favor of Predictive Gaming. They're going to steal away the blue buff. They're going to steal away all of this jungle. And yeah, that's gonna hurt. I mean, you see the CS discrepancy coming out already for the junglers as there's a bit of a skirmish in the bot lane. Bluebird taking a lot of damage, will get soloed, and honestly, sub TBD might be the or sub TBD. Yeah, I said that right. Okay,
He might be the shining star of this team, the shining gem.
Yeah, it might be he might be the one saving grace here so far in this game, and I think it probably is obviously this comp I do think was truly built around him in order to be able to try to win this game here against Predictive Gaming, and it's good that he's able to find these plays on his own, and that does speak to that he's not super weak. He does have some strength to him, and that they can continue to kind of get him incrementally stronger and at a bit of a faster pace though than Bluebird, because Bluebird, all he has to do is sit back and just chuck in those mystic shots, because he's not even the primary carry of his composition. He's probably like the third carry, if we're being honest. And so that's the main thing here. And so when you're looking at sub TBD, he is the primary carry, and so he's someone who is going to have to step up majorly if they want to try to win this game. And it's going to start with Bio and with Lapachine and Mr. Top, providing the space for him to work, and they need to make sure he's got, they got to make sure he's got plenty of room in his office to make sure he can do whatever work he needs to get done, and that's really just the long and the short of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing here, actually a hook's gonna land in the bot lane onto Almot, but I don't think that's a target they want. Almot gonna take a bit of damage. Stopwatch does come out for him, but the team's gonna follow up. Echo gets himself another kill onto sub TBD. And yeah, I mean, Blue tried to make something happen. It just did not work out. And now third Dragon can go over to Predictive Gaming, and that's going to be Soul Point. And kill going to get picked up in the bot lane possibly here. Shield's going to come out, but no, I think Flopper Goblin's just going to play it safe.
Yeah, and that was really...
He just comes back. Yep.
Oh man, he just that kill. But so looking at that there, I mean, it was really a who's who of what's really going on there. Like who's really flanking who there.
Yeah.
That's really kind of what that fight was. That was quite interesting to see how both sides handled that. And I don't know if it's mixed calls or something, as we have a Rumble in danger.
Yep. Slow is down onto Dionysus. He has to flash out, but you can only do that once every 5 minutes, so he's going to be on cooldown for the next fight.
But I don't know if it's mixed calls, and this is what's interesting, is I feel like the Shen ultimates here, the Stand Uniteds, are quite late in the fight. It's almost as if there's an indecision of, no, I'm good, we don't need it, and then all of a sudden they're like, I need it, and then it's too late. And I almost would rather see them use it preemptively, as he needs someone to help Stand United to save himself.
Yeah, and I think an aggressive composition like this requires a bit more vision, and as you can see around that Dragon, Predictive Gaming set it up so well. His teleport is actually going to get burned, so Dionysus using all of his summoner spells now, making his way back to the mid lane. But again, to touch on that point, if you're playing an attack composition like Black Mamba is running here, they need to have that vision. And, running the Nautilus, he wants to pick people off. As we talked about vision, Almont has none of that, and he's going to get taken down. That's a huge shutdown going over to the Samira.
Yeah, another big gold bounty gonna go over to that Samira, and slowly but surely they're it looks a little bit unconventional to me, but Black Mama's doing it. They're getting those kills onto the Samira, and all of a sudden that Urgot, who started out 4-0, 4-1, all of a sudden that kill lead's now tied with that Samira just like that. And there's no flash on that Rumble, remember?
Yep, flash is down. Dionysus is gonna be able to get the slowdown and is able to make it away. It overheats. And Scrap Shield comes out too, but yeah, that matchup is absolutely a losing matchup here for the Rumble. Still, not even with his first item completing, just has the Haunting guys, as Flopper Goblin is working on his second item. 6, 1, and 2 on that Echo. He is an absolute monster right now.
So unfortunately, there is more bad news here. If you remember, Black Mamba Esports than that what just happened
Goblin.
There.
Getting himself a 7th kill now. He is, really ramping up.
There is worse news than both of those two things that just happened right there. And it's that Predictive Gaming are on Soul Point, like you mentioned. And the reason why this is bad is right now, they can pretty much do whatever they want. And they can afford to give up a couple of dragons here. Because it's Mountain, it's not a super big deal, at least I think anyway. And what you can do is you can take trade these dragons for like the tier 2 in the mid lane, tier 2 in the top lane, tier 1 in the bottom lane. You can trade a couple of dragons for some of these objectives that you might not normally get unless you just get like an outright team fight win or something like that, right? And that's what's really critical about the spot that they're in now is that Black Mamba Gaming, or Esports, excuse me, they have to fight at every single dragon no matter what now, unless they just want to give over soul. And that could be the call, maybe, if you think you can, if you just need 1 or 2 more items, and if you fight at that dragon, you're just going to lose the game. But at this point, you know, every dragon left has to be, we've got to fight here. Yeah. And that's going to put them in a really precarious position, because obviously I think Predictive Gaming know that, and they can play around that. And it's going to require near perfect execution here from Black Mamba at the fight that probably is brewing here in the next minute or so, in order to come out on top.
Yeah, and I think one of the weaknesses here for Black Mamba is their lack of wards. Of course, they've been forced into their base for quite a bit now. There's got to be some fear built up of, oh, can Flapper Goblin just be anywhere right now? As we do see Nautilus making his way over there 1 minute before Dragon spawns. Stand United is up. Teleport is up, not for Diagnosis. Teleport is down for Almont, so he's going to want to come down and join this fight. But yeah, I think Vision is going to be key here, and we see a plethora of pink wards coming out for Predictive Gaming. I have a feeling they're just going to deny Vision, take the fight that they want, and steamroll the rest of this game.
Yeah, their team vision, like their vision as a team, has really impressed me so far. Like, they have made sure that this has been a very controlled performance. Obviously, the early game was kind of wild because there was like 30 kills a minute. But like, this has been a very since we got to the mid game, this has been very controlled. They've slowly started to squeeze out the vision. You know, they've been just kind of doing their own thing. And that's not how you want to start this.
Yeah, Flapacine getting caught out, and now the stun over the wall onto the Samira, not the champion who won. As Stand United is going to come out. Equalizer comes down the exact spot you need it, but just no damage coming through now as Mr. Top has to run away. Blue now caught in a bad spot. He's going to get taken down. And Black Mamba Esports just cannot contest. Oh, that is so much damage coming out of the Echo. He's got the Lich Bane completed now. Wow.
So, very interesting there. Very into 200 IQ to pick Poppy in a game with Mountain Soul, because that means that there's extra terrain for Poppy to knock people into.
That's true.
I.e. the Nautilus just running right into the new terrain that got added in because it's Mountain Soul. So really 200 IQ there. But in all honesty, I thought that fight could have been it, because it set up really well the Equalizer into the 3-man Shen there. But Samira could not get into the fight, and that because she was engaged on to start it, and that has ended up really costing them there. And I think that this Baron is just too far gone for them to do.
Yeah, and the jungler getting chunked out early is just, I mean, that's the sign right there. We can't do anything, guys. Like, we back off, we lose these fights. Our jungler's low, and it just went downhill from there. Like you said, the Samira got caught, and Predictive Gaming, they look poised and ready to take this game. 4 dragons. They've got the Mountain Soul, they've got the Baron buff. Guys, you've got all the objectives. There's only one thing left. You got to go towards the base now.
Yeah, and I definitely think that they should be ready now to start really putting some serious dents into the base. I mean, they've got the Mountain Soul. They've got a healthy gold lead, as they're almost, I think they're at about 7,000 gold lead right now. So, they're pretty sizable right now. Their main carry's looking really, really good. And I think at this point it's going to be pretty tough for anyone to deny Predictive Gaming spot, to try to stop them at the inhibitor towers with these tier 2 towers. Especially, so it's going to be pretty tough, and I would imagine if I was Black Mamba, I would probably look to seed these outer towers and just try to make a defense, and look for maybe one pick in a side lane and defending your inhibitor towers, but I would honestly look to maybe let these outers go if it gets too scary.
Yeah, I think these outer towers, especially like the tier 2 bot, tier 2 mid, all the tier 2s are just a little bit difficult to hold. There's a lot of flank points, especially against a champion like Echo. You have a lot of dive potential for the side of Predictive Gaming, so I think you just let those go. And really, Black Mamba, they have the team fight potential. They just really need to wait for Predictive Gaming to mess up. If they overcommit on a dive, somebody gets caught out, you get a good Nautilus hook, that's what you're looking for, as we see Flopper Goblin's actually losing this fight a little bit. Getting taunted up a couple times there as the engage happens in the top lane. Turret is going to fall. Damage going to come through onto Nautilus. He will end up going down, and yeah, that's going to spell trouble for Black Mamba.
Really intelligent stuff there from Sly. He saw that Black Mamba was positioning there for an engagement, and he ends up knocking away sub-TBD, and everybody else was stuck on the Cassiopeia Miasma, and so it would just left the front line there with no damage to support them, and as a result, Nautilus just gets immediately bursted down, and that top inhib is gone, that bottom inhib is about to go down as well, and that mid lane wave is not quite there yet, a little bit desynchronized on that one, but I have to think potentially we are starting to see the beginning of the end.
Yeah, absolutely, and Predictive Gaming might not be done here. They're looking for more. The damage coming out, so much coming through for Cassiopeia, but a great 3-man stun it looked like there for Shen. Ultimate back out for Flopper Goblin, and the rest of the team for Black Mamba is just gonna get melted. Ezreal picking up 2 kills. Now, Predictive Gaming, they're just gonna look towards the Nexus. Yeah, GG, well played.
Yeah, really, really impressive stuff here from Predictive Gaming. Obviously, the early game portions were interesting, to say the least. I mean, yeah. I'm sure giving over 4 kills,
sloppy.
I'm pretty sure giving over 4 kills to the Urgot jungle is not on the agenda list. But overall, really, really impressive stuff from them. They really just kind of put their foot down in this game and took this one and just were like, nope, no, that's all you get. That's all you get. You can have a little bit, but not a lot, and certainly not enough to win the game. And they're gonna already move here to the they're already gonna move on here to match point, and I think that's it. They look like the best team in this group, and that's kind of the long and the short of it.
Absolutely. Predictive Gaming going to take the first game here. They've 2-0'd once before. Can they do it again? We'll have to see. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Strap in for a long one. We got everybody on one. Now you coming at the king, so you better not miss. And we only get stronger with everything I carry up on my back. You should paint it up with a target. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come get your spoiler out my head. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you coming, my name you ought to know by now. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up. Take a lap now, don't be mad now. Run it back, run it back. I got bodies lining up, think you're dreaming of greatness. Send you back home, let you wake up. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come and get your spoiler out my head. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you coming, my name you ought to know by now. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up.在以后，除了是傻子，还有其他吗？我左右，键盘琵琶在时间滴答着，还不够。你的固执让我来守候，哪怕太迟也不想以后。就在这时放肆的挑逗。I got the heart of a lion, I know the harder you climb, the harder you fall. I'm at the top of the mountain, too many bodies to count. I've been through it all. I had to weather the storm to get to the level I'm on. That's how the legend was born. All of my enemies already dead. I'm bored, I'm ready for war. They know I'm ready for war. I told them we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you coming, my name you ought to know by now. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up.
Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 of Predictive Gaming Raijin versus Black Mamba Esports. Once again, this is ReDefy Academy, or I'm sorry, ReDefy Esports Academy. I can never get that name right. Again, I'm the small dog, and with me here is Siphon. I'm pretty hyped for game number 2. There's a lot of things that Black Mamba Esports Academy have to work out to actually take this game, but it's hard to tell. I definitely, if I had to make a prediction right now, I think Predictive Gaming Raijin is going to take 2-0, but there's always a chance.
Yeah, and I wouldn't fault you for wanting to make that pick, honestly, because that's just kind of what it is looking like it's leaning towards right now. I mean, honestly, it's just like, it was such a controlling performance from Predictive Gaming over Black Mamba Esports in that first game, and there really wasn't a whole lot of bright spots, I would suppose, from Black Mamba, other than the first few minutes of the game where they were trading pretty well, I would say, outside of the one pretty bad misposition in the bottom lane that ended up getting them killed. So I think if I'm Black Mamba Esports, here's what I do in this game. I think I kind of change the comp around a little bit. I think I get Mr. Top onto something that's more active and not Shen. I think you put Flapsine on another active early game carry. And honestly, I think you go to what I kind of call a 4-out composition, which is you have 4 carries that are all going to be looking to carry the game to give yourself the best possible chance that you can actually carry the game. But in my other major point, just put Dionysus or put him on something that's not Rumble. Give him something that's going to do a little bit better into that Echo, because he did not look comfortable on the champion, and I don't believe that matchup goes particularly well anyway. And so make it a little bit easier for him.
Absolutely. I think that the Echo really was a difficult matchup for him, and also getting those kills early on, and Dionysus just not really able to have an impact. Not able to get any assists early game. There were like 6 kills going over early game for Black Mamba, but he wasn't able to be a part of any of them. Really hurt him going into the mid game. Not able to get any items. But we do see here Kassadin's going to get picked up. He was the last pick on Pro Draft, so coming out as the counter for Cassiopeia, and we do see Cassiopeia getting picked away, so Almont will not be playing that this... Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm getting the teams backwards. Sorry, Predictive Gaming's on the blue side. So it's going to be Almont again on the Cassiopeia, and Kassadin going to be the response to the Echo this time.
Very interesting matchups here. I think that the Kassadin is interesting. I'm just a little scared about its survivability pre-6. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, because if he can get out of that, there's someone who is much more overpowered than the Echo, and it's definitely Kassadin. And that's, if you're able to get him out of the lane and relatively unscathed, it's gonna be pretty tough to stop him, even more so than the Echo, just because he can kind of fly around a lot faster. So that's obviously something to keep in mind here. And I'm kind of interested to see that we're going to get the Trundle Sejuani matchup, particularly since Trundle was Trundle is a decent jungler, and then in my opinion, it's more of a comfort pick for the junglers that choose to play it, because it's not strong enough to warrant a must pick. So obviously, if the junglers are comfortable with it, that's usually when we do end up seeing it. And the Sejuani, really solid jungler, and there's not a lot to complain about other than you're going up against a Trundle, so you're probably going to lose all your armor.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, they do have the Trundle to steal away stats. And this composition, if Black Mamba Esports is able to scale, get into the late game, they are going to look really, really strong. Having that Yuumi, Kassadin, if he's able to hit that level 16 power spike, you've got Shen to respond to things. But looking on the other side, Predictive Gaming Raijin does have a really good team fight composition here. You've got Cassiopeia to lock everybody up. Sejuani can lock everybody up. Echo can dive onto the backline. You have pick potential with the Ash Crystal Arrow, as well as vision control. And Thresh just does Thresh things. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest here. I hate Yuumi, so I am going to automatically hope that Yuumi does not do so great this game, because I hate the champion. So full context, I hate Yuumi. But on a more serious note, I do think that Not picking the Nautilus here is kind of interesting because Nautilus is routinely thought as one of the better champions into the Yuumi Ezreal, so I am kind of surprised that they didn't pick that, but I think that they do still have themselves a very good bottom lane, and I think that should sub TBD get hooked, get caught out by the Ashe Arrow, the Ashe Slows, the Thresh CC, it could be pretty tough for him to remain healthy. Obviously, it's going to be really dependent on how good Blue is with this Yuumi. So that's obviously something we need to keep our eyes on here in this matchup. And I'm thinking this is probably going to obviously be very favored for the Ashe Thresh, but obviously that's really dependent on is the Thresh roaming a lot, how active is Blue going to be in the lane, those kind of things.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how that bot lane plays out. Because Sub TBD was the one player who was really making those solo kills happen in the last game. Of course, he was on the Samira, which he's not going to be playing this time. They decided instead to pick that Ezreal away. So I would say Ezreal a bit of a safer laner than Samira. He's got a bit more range, is able to farm effectively with the Qs. But that was the lane that was winning for them the most. So I expect, again, Flapacine, I really hope he puts an emphasis on that bot lane, as well as making sure the mid laner stays alive. Just abandon Shen again, honestly. Although there is kill potential, I honestly thought that, Cassiopeia would have gotten a little bit more attention. So there is a possibility Trundle Shen can definitely kill Cassiopeia in that lane. She is very immobile, doesn't have a lot of escape tools. All she really has is the slow she can throw down. But yeah, I do expect there is some attention on this bot lane. I think they're going to want to get them ahead.
Yeah, I definitely agree here. And I'm really surprised that they opted back into that Shen Cassiopeia matchup again. And it's going to be really on Mr. Top. I think that they need to be on the side of the Shen ult needs to be there early or it's not going to get there at all. That's something that I feel like they need to really have in this game is it's got to get there early and be there preemptively or it's not going to get there, because we saw last game it was either hesitation or they told him he didn't need it until he actually did, and it's late, it doesn't come down, and it's just ends up being an all bad negative thing. So really hopeful to see that from Mr. Top in this game. But if you're Flapacine, you got to make sure this Cassidy gets out of lane. Yeah. Because that is your primary focus, in my opinion, if you're the jungler here for Black Mamba Esports. You've got to get that Cassidy out of lane, or make sure he gets out of it okay. And if he doesn't, you're relying on your Ezreal to try to bridge you until your Cassidy can eventually do that. And if your Ezreal's not super far ahead individually, it's gonna be quite hard to do that. So yeah, and the Ezreal Yuumi will be fine. They're cool with chilling up. They're chilling and in the bottom lane, scaling up, all that good stuff. So you really want to put all of your attention into that Echo and make sure he is not able to abuse that Cassidy to the point where he's basically a caster minion for like 30 minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah, Black Mamba Esports, they've got a lot of things that they need to make work here in order to pull off this upset. I'm going to say it. The Predictive Gaming has shown they are definitely the dominant team, winning the first set. If they're able to take this, it secures their spot as number one in their division, as they have still gone undefeated 3-0. Black Mamba only dropping a set to this specific organization. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of adjustments that need to be made. But this is a composition that I think Black Mamba can succeed on. There's a lot of tools for Predictive Gaming to engage, but Black Mamba, I think they're expecting that, and they're playing a more defensive play style, something that they can kite back with, and hopefully they're able to stay alive. I think that their team fight potential is a little bit weaker, especially early on. So the chances of them giving up early dragons are kind of high. But yeah, I think Black Mamba, they've got a good game plan. I think they can, if executed properly, can definitely come out ahead on this one.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I do think that their composition in this game is a bit more suited to the way Predictive Gaming are going to try to, carry this one out. And I do think that the aggressive playstyle, while it might normally suit Black Mamba in their other games, it's not obviously going to suit them here against Predictive Gaming. So it's nice to see them take a little bit of an adaptation and try something a little bit different from what I would assume that they normally play. So that's obviously good that they're not going to try the same thing over and over again and hope that it eventually starts to work. So that's obviously something that's really good, and I'm interested to see how this one is going to go, because I do think now they're relying on a little bit more of a timer in this game, and that's obviously, it's both good and bad. Good in the fact that you know what you have to do, and it's you stall out for 20, 30 minutes, 20, 25 minutes, and then that Cassinan just gonna take over the game like that.
Yep.
But obviously, if he falls behind, it's gonna get really brutal for him. So really imperative that he does not fall behind, as we're gonna get the full 5-man invade here on the bottom side.
Spotted out yet. Oh, they're actually gonna be able to pick up a ward here. It does get spotted, and yeah,
really intelligent stuff from Blue there, actually. He didn't buy a potion. He bought a control ward instead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, Blue being a bit of more of a safe bet in that lane. Of course, Yuumi can get poked, but most of the time going to be on the Ezreal, so not really needing the potion. But that is actually going to be pretty big, getting that pink ward early on. That's going to be a little bit of gold and experience going into the side of Flopper Goblin. That's basically like 1 CS up on his enemy opponent. So it's not huge, but he will hit that level 1 just a little bit early, and they do get spotted, but the hook lands, and Cleanse is already burned now for sub TBD.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess defensively it's fine. And Observer, if you wouldn't mind really quick toggling the gold, I want to just see who all got credit for the word. Oh, never mind. I think I'm reading. I'm thinking of the wrong thing, so never mind on that.
Yes, 30 gold. That's all that Flopper Goblin got.
Well, I was actually trying to see if I could tell, because I believe if you share the ward hits, you will get. I can't remember if it's gold and experience or just experience. It might be just the experience part.
Yeah, it might be.
So I was thinking that it would also show the gold, thus I could figure out who also had the experience on the hits. I would imagine it was everybody but the Cassiopeia, as we're going to see the map split up here to start with a bit of vertical jungling. So this Cassiopeia is going to have to be very, very careful, and I would not be surprised to see this Trundle pay her a couple of visits to make sure she's remaining respectful.
Yeah, as we already see the lightning procs in the mid lane, a lot of damage coming out for both mid laners. And Dionysus, I mean, I feel like he takes those trades, honestly. Probably a little bit more sustain on the side of the Echo, but, you're casting, you're expecting to lose these early on. Flopper Goblin have to dash out. He will get out safely, and one turret shot coming over to Flapacine. So, yeah, not the best gank. No,
definitely could have been a little bit better. Left a little bit to be desired there, and I think that I would have rather maybe have seen him pay his attention towards the top side, as that Cassiopeia has been stacking that wave up right now, and it's obviously starting to push that in, but it's obviously frozen a little bit out of that tower range, so she would have been a prime target for a bit of a gank there, but he chooses to instead invest mid lane, which I can't fault it for, because I did pretty much stress that the Cassidy should be the focus of this Trundle, making sure he's going to be all good, and getting out of this lane is obviously the top priority here for Black Mamba Esports, so I'm not going to fault him too hard for that decision.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely just paying a visit, making sure that Dionysus has the lane under control. I think things will get a little more dicey as we go a little bit further here, as Trundle is going to get spotted out by a ward. Cassio has already backed off, gets Mana Crystal as well as Vision ward. I'm definitely saying that wrong. I'm so tired. But yeah, goes back and gets a pink ward, and we'll be coming back to lanes. So early recall, getting that push into the tower is going to benefit her. We did see the Shen, Mr. Top, NPN in the top lane. He was able to keep up in CS for a while, but after the Cassiopeia gets a couple items, it gets a lot more difficult for him to contest CS, and he becomes much more of like a support champion, coming in with the Stand United for those team fights. And as you mentioned last game, he seemed a bit behind on the Stand United, so I would like to see him a little bit more proactive when those team fights come out.
Yeah, and I actually thought his lane phase was pretty good up until about the Arcane Shift right there from sub TPD, but I'm pretty sure his lane phase was actually very good up until about the first dragon fight that went down. Hold on a second. So we have a bit of a skirmish to the top side, or bottom side.
He's going to get bullied out. Ignites get traded, but I think Bone is actually going to be able to survive this one. Blue has nobody to jump to. He's going to just run back and will end up going down. So that's going to be one kill picked up for the Ashe. The other kill did go over to Bonehard with that Ignite, But double kill in the bot lane, that's going to look really good if you're Predictive Gaming.
Absolutely, you're going to want that one, especially against a lane that probably should never die in the first place. So really, really impressive stuff. And I do believe that Cleanse actually might have just come right back up as he died. So, he never had a chance to try to get out of the wave or anything like that. And really, really big, obviously, for this Ashe Thresh bot lane now, is they're going to be getting a little bit ahead. And obviously the Ashe already ahead just because of how the Cole is, and she's up at CS, so obviously she's going to have more gold available, and they did just take that Ocean Dragon as well. So really, really good stuff there. Sly right where he needs to be as always, and pretty strong start here. And again, a mistake from Black Mamba Esports costs them pretty dearly here. I mean, they're now down almost 1.5k. They are down 2 kills. They're down the dragons. I mean, one mistake costs them pretty dearly, so I'm hopeful that they're going to turn this around and not let this deter them too much.
Absolutely. And damage is going to be favored in the side of Bluebird there, as he does come out with a BF sword as opposed to the tier. Fairly standard build on Yuumi, as we see in the bot lane. I see every Yuumi take that build. It does build out into all the items you need. It's a little bit strange to see.
It does look like a little bit kind of like troll to me.
It does, yeah. He's like, oh, we died. I'm just gonna.
Very interesting here, actually. I'm kind of surprised here watching the Cassidy bully out the Echo here.
Yeah, it is.
I'm very curious. I think it's just because Flopper Goblin has not gone back. Flash play though.
Ashe is gonna come in. Yuumi gets hooked up, and Blue will be the first to fall. That's gonna be a second kill now picked up for Bluebird, as Dionysus has teleported in. He is level 6, is able to Rift Walk. Yeah, Void Walk?
Actually, maybe not. Hold on.
Yeah.
Not done yet.
Yeah, I think Flappacine is actually going to get caught out here, as Flopper Goblin was behind the team there. SubTBD has to now Rift Walk away, and Dionysus might end up going down. Stand United there to help secure 1 kill. Flopper Goblin is going to go down, not able to use that Chrono Break. And all in all, I think that was a 3 for 1. I actually lost track of how many kills went over.
I believe it was actually just the good old 1 for 3, actually, because the Yuumi died, the Castle died.
Flash
died, and we're still not done.
Bluebird gonna get really low, but is able to back off, is able to flash out. SubTBD now gonna get hit by those fangs, takes a lot of damage. Hook is gonna come through, and Almat's gonna be able to pick himself up his first kill of the game. Flappacine has now respawned, I believe, and so has Dionysus, and they're making their way back down towards this dragon, not spawning for another 2 minutes and 40 seconds, but wow, just non-stop aggression in this bot lane. All members coming down.
All right, so everybody who had the Ashe being at 100% kill participation across 6 kills in 8 minutes, you can place your bingo marker over that spot. But in all seriousness, we're not done. Again, we have another fight in the jungle.
The invade coming through. I think Sly is actually going to be able to make it out. He does smite for a little bit of extra health there. And Flappacine just going to be able to steal away the red, but that's pretty big. Now being able to invade and push back that Sejuani, as Almat's going to get a little bit caught out. And it looks like they ended up swapping lanes here too. Almat going to go towards that mid lane. Now level 6 on Dionysus. Dionysus has been bullying the Echo fairly effectively, so Echo definitely going to match up, I think, a little bit better against Mr. Top.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty smart adaptation. I do think the Cassiopeia will handle this Cassidon a little bit better. Obviously, he is quite strong, so it's going to be kind of tough to deal with him in any way or fashion. And I do want to apologize to the viewers there. My calculator could not take the action so much so that it just fell off my desk and rattled into my my computer case. So apologies if that startled anyone. But in all seriousness, though, like, with how bad that it kind of looks right now, because they're down 6-1, they're down almost 3k gold right now at 10 minutes, give or take. The Cassidon looks really good right now. Like, I know he's 0-1-1, and he's like only up 1 or 2 CS, depending if you're looking at him compared to Echo. A great hook though onto the Ezreal. Doesn't result in much though. But the jungle's here though.
He has been showing up today, coming out to fish, and Bluebird now going to be in a little bit of trouble. Another great hook coming out.
Oh my!
His stun is going to come through. Cleanse was burned. Kill's going to get picked up for Bonehard, but no teleports on the side of Predictive Gaming to be able to respond to this. And final chapter coming out just to secure this kill, Bonehard. I don't think you're going to be able to make it out of there. But honestly, 2 for 1, Yeah, I don't think it's the best for predictive gaming, but they made the best out of a bad situation.
I actually think that's pretty good, especially considering Ezreal didn't get either of the kills. They both went onto the Trundle, so one of the big carries here for Black Mamba Esports didn't even pick up the kills, and I don't actually think he picked up... I think he picked up 1 credit on the assists. I don't think he got that Thresh one, so he didn't even get the full value of that either. So that's obviously something to keep in mind. So really good job there from the bottom lane of Predictive Gaming to do what they can to mitigate the loss of what just happened there. But back to my point really quickly about the Cassidy, and he's looking really, really good right now. And I apparently can't finish a thought as we are just continuously fighting left, right, and center right now.
Yeah, I think you might be safe for the moment, just trading a couple blows. But yeah, we see a taunt coming out in the top lane. Mr. Top is taking a lot of damage. Does have that Spectre's Cowl to keep himself a little bit healthier. And another great hook landing. That's going to be Trundle going down. Blue has nowhere to go. And absolute dominance coming out for Predictive Gaming, controlling that vision around the dragon, knowing when it's coming up. And now they're definitely going to be able to secure the second dragon, it looks like.
Do my eyes deceive me? Or does that Trundle have exhaust?
No, you're right.
That's very interesting. I was like, wait, okay, well, I guess
I didn't even notice that.
I was like, well, I guess he's just gonna hold on to flash, and then his summoner spell went off, but he didn't flash, and I'm like, did he flash in place? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, that doesn't look like flash.
Yeah.
So okay, I can't believe I missed that. Wow. But he apparently has exhaust, which is very interesting. Yeah. I've seen some interesting things. Like I've even seen Aftershock Trundle jungle. Like I've seen a wide variety of Trundle jungles. This is probably about the most variety I'm gonna get though, and everything with left, right, and center, and sub-TVD is going to be fine.
Yeah, Almont here might be in trouble, though, as 3 members are going to pay him a visit, knock on the door. Almont going to try to Petrifying Gaze, does get a lot of damage down, but can't trade back the kill onto Shen. So getting punished for his over-aggression and lack of visibility or vision in that top lane. Does complete the Seraphs, though.
That's good, but Mr. Castlewind picked up that kill as now the gate comes through on the bottom side. Sly trying to find something.
Flash coming out, and sub-TBD is going to go down once again. Blue not able to heal quite that much damage as Kasdan does get stunned in the mid lane, but that is pretty big. You have 4-1-4 now on that Ashe. She's going to be able to complete some items pretty soon, and she's going to get so strong for this mid-game too. And this team has so much pick potential. They've got the Crystal Arrow, Hook to follow it up. You've got Sejuani able to throw the Glacial Prison out. And yeah, there's just so much engaged for this team. I think for them getting ahead, Black Mamba Esports is going to have a really hard time now.
Yeah, and there's one obviously big thing here is hold on to that thought as we have a teleport down on the bottom side.
I'm sorry, but you do not get to speak today because it is non-stop action now. 14 kills in just under 14 minutes. We do see everybody going towards that dragon. There's no dragon available for 3 more minutes, but everybody trying to collapse as a Crystal Arrow does come out onto Flapacine. He's going to go very low, does get taken down by the Echo. Now Exhaust going to come out on top of the Ashe. Mr. Top might be in a really bad spot now as the teleport's going to come out for Almont. He wants to join the party, says come on over, but 2 more kills going to get picked up for Predictive Gaming, and they might just push down this mid lane.
Yeah, and a really well-executed team fight there. Black Mamba Esports got pulled into a fight they didn't want to because, once again, their jungler takes an aggressive path through the mid lane, and he gets picked on there by Flopper Goblin again. And looks very similar to what happened last game, where he was sitting pretty with a 2-kill lead on that Urgot, and then walked into a river he shouldn't have because he was in the wrong part of town, and ends up going down. His mid laner traded his life in that game. They ended up falling behind pretty significantly off of that one. And now this Echo, sitting at 3-1-3, has that first turret gold now in his back pocket, so he's probably about to go get a good chunk of his Lich Bane, I would imagine, off of this back whenever he does choose to go back. And I'm starting to figure something out here. I'm starting to think that right now, Black Mamba Esports, whenever they play against Predictive Gaming, they're only allowed to have one of their primary carries be fed. Because, like, if you think about it, right, last game, the Rumble not doing so hot, the Samira was looking good. This game, the Kasdan's looking good, but the Ezreal gonna need a little bit longer on that to get everything squared away there. So I think that's obviously if they could just get both of them together online at the same time, I think we might be getting somewhere. So that's obviously the big focus here for Black Mamba Esports. And if you're Predictive Gaming right now, just keep doing what you're doing. You've already acquired a 7,000 gold lead, and you got the first 2 dragons, so you got a ton of flexibility here for a good chunk of the game, still to go. But just gotta remember in the back of your minds, man. Castlewin is on the enemy team, and he's not. He's looking like he's going to get to his timer pretty, fairly soon here. The Shen's in major trouble right there.
Gosh, Mr. Top taking so much damage. Petrifying Gaze as well as the Flash is going to come out. Alma in a really bad spot now. Exhaust is going to come through. I think that's why
I don't think he has enough.
Took that Exhaust. But Stand United is going to have to come out, and kill does get picked up. But wow, that Cassiopeia is strong. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, Predictive Gaming has free reign. There's nobody here to stop them.
Very interesting that they're just going to completely vacate the area. I mean, Ezreal and Yumi were up there as well to try to help out with that Cassiopeia, and now SubTVD is going to be in a bit of trouble. Oh, what an arrow! Good Kleza. Oh, and then 3 points onto the Sejuani ultimate.
Yeah, I honestly though, like, kill picked up. That's great for Black Mamba. They had a really hard time getting it, but what did they lose in trade for it? Predictive Gaming was able to smash down that first turret, take out the second turret, and now Dragon is up again. We're going to see another Mountain Soul, and if Predictive Gaming gets this uncontested, things are looking really, really bad for Black Mamba.
Yeah, and it's going to be put into a similar situation like last game where they have to basically fight at every single dragon from this point on. So this is an imperative dragon. They need to force them off or at least steal the dragon.
Yeah, they're going to go in. Dragon does get low, will get secured by the Sejuani. Now the fight comes out. Chrono Break there to save the Echo. Sly's going to get the Lantern out. Everybody disengaging for the side of Predictive Gaming. Can Dionysus chase this down? It looks like Bonehard is going to try to be the sacrificial lamb here. Throws down the box, slows everybody a little bit, but now Sly is in a really bad spot. Bluebird might get dove here as the turret aggro is going to go on to the Trundle.
Oh,
tries to take it up, but the turret, Bluebird just so strong on that Ashe. Will get the slowdown onto Dionysus. He's going to be taken really low. Flapacine will get taken down.
Oh, he's got the arrow.
It again. Crystal arrow comes out, but the dash over the wall. Dionysus will get taken down, but oh my goodness, 3 kills and the Dragon Soul Point getting picked up for Predictive Gaming. That looked really dicey, but they pulled it out in the end.
Well, since I can't say he's on fire, Bluebird has ice in his veins right there, stands tall, steps up to the pressure, and ends up coming out with 3 kills in the back of it there when his team was looking like they were down, out, and on the run. And he ends up coming up big, picks up those 3 kills. So not only did they only lose 1 member for getting that dragon, they also picked up 3 kills onto their Ashe. So right now, Bluebird looks so good right now. And he still hasn't gone back yet. Like, he's probably going to get a good chunk of his next item, and I do believe that is going to be towards his Infinity Edge.
9,000 gold on that ADC as we see Top is in a bit of trouble. He's going to try to take out Alma. Petrifying Gaze there to secure, make sure he stays alive, and just more going over the side of Predictive Gaming. But yeah, you saw 2 items are already completed on the Ashe. He hasn't even shopped yet. He's power farming the enemy jungle right now. And SubTBD, he doesn't have a single item completed.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for him, but when you really look at this, right, that last gold graph showed something very interesting. The Kassadin is only about 400 gold away from the Cassiopeia in terms of just champion gold alone. So, he's close. Like, it's not like this is out of the realm of possibility. We've seen Kassadins do crazy things before. They've got the Yumi to put onto him, honestly, and that will help him out a lot, even if this Yumi is not super strong right now. The Yumi will still be helpful a lot. Additionally, you also have that Shen Stand United, and if you put it on that Kassadin as he goes in, it's a guarantee he's probably not going to die. Great arrow
land as well. Blue is in a lot of trouble. He tries to dash off, but 2 members going to get picked up there now. Baron's going to be spawning in 44 seconds, but I don't even know if Predictive Gaming needs it at this point. 36.8k, almost 10k up on the enemy team. Predictive Gaming, they said, give me that first game. They're going to take the second game. I think they're going to easy 2-0 this one here. Looking to take a fast game number 2 as a lot of damage getting traded onto Flopper Goblin. He's going to be able to use a Chrono Break, keep himself alive. But yeah, just looking so strong.
Yeah, they definitely are right now, and I think this is something that...
It's going to be an inhibitor.
Yeah, I think this could be... Actually, the Riptail going down there actually will stop that, I do think. Obviously, having the Trundle and the Yuumi backup will help there in that defense of the inhibitor there, but really nice job from Predictive Gaming. They've cracked open that inhibitor, and honestly, what I would look to do now, you have the Baron, you have the Baron in control, you have the top inhibitor exposed. Take the Baron right now.
They're just going to go for it.
And then you go into a 4-1. You could go into 1-3-1 if you want to with that Cassiopeia. It's possible, although I don't know how viable you really are thinking about that one right now. And so then you put your primary focus into the bottom lane and into the mid lane, and then from there you work and get those inhibitors down. And if you can't end the game off that, you just rotate top, you take that open inhibitor, and you got all 3 inhibs down like that, and it's basically going to be game over at that.
20 minutes, already cracking down the inhibitor turrets, 18 kills to 6. Predictive Gaming Raijin looking super strong going into game number 2 here. And honestly, I don't see a way out for Black Mamba. Predictive Gaming, they've got to mess up. They've got to be face-checking bushes, support going out and warding things where he shouldn't be. That's what you're hoping for now if you're Black Mamba. But it is looking grim at this point.
Yeah, it definitely is, and this brings up a bit of a problematic thing here for Black Mamba Esports, as I will actually get back to you in just one moment on that, because it does look like Trundle's in danger with a great pillar on himself.
Flapacine just trying to farm his jungle, trying to get some gold into the pockets of his team, and he's going to go down for it. Death Sentence going to secure that kill. Flapacine going down for the 6th time this game, and yeah, that's enough said.
Yep. So this is where it becomes problematic here for Black Mamba Esports Academy. They're probably going to, if assuming they do lose this game and the series ends, they're going to be dropping to 2-2. That would put them in a tie for 2nd place in the group with the Fierce Force Bravo, and that's going to force that match whenever it is up on the schedule. It is going to be a virtual must-win in order for them to try to get out of the group, because otherwise it's going to be incredibly tough. And this might be the final team right here.
Rhythm coming down. Dionysus already going to fall. Another great hook coming out of Bonehard. They're going to be able to pick up 2 kills, taking down that Yuumi as well. 3 members versus 5. A little bit of damage going on to the Cassiopeia, but I think they can continue this siege. Looking for the inhibitor in the bot lane. Flash comes out onto sub TBD. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Has to Rift walk away. And now, or I'm sorry, Arcane Shift. I keep getting these names. Please forgive me. But inhibitor is going to fall 22 minutes and 39 seconds into the game. They're just going to clean up the base. Predictive Gaming Raijin, definitely the dominant team in this league, possibly the dominant team across the entire league. I honestly cannot wait to see how they match up in playoffs here. We're coming out week 4, 2 more weeks left. But you said it, Black Mamba Esports, they've got to win their matchup. They've already won 1, so if they lose it, it's going to be a tiebreaker. And I think it's going to come down to whoever has the better score, whether it's 2-1 in their matches as opposed to a 2-0. I think a 2-0 is more dominant, but I'll have to fact check on that. But yeah, it's things are not looking good for Black Mamba. They've got a lot of space to improve here, moving forward towards playoffs.
Yeah, definitely so. And I'm taking a look here at the schedule for the next couple of weeks, and wouldn't you guess it, that Black Mamba Esports Academy and the Fierce Force Bravo are going to be playing in that last week, as Dionysus is going to get in trouble and he is going to go down. But
caught out once again.
I'm thinking probably we're going to be looking honestly at potential match of the week.
Yeah.
Just in that game, as that's going to be for the 2nd seed out of this group here. But Predictive Gaming looked fantastic.
That's another hook. Yeah, honestly, I've seen so many great hooks this game. Bonehard doing such a great job on that champion. And congratulations to Predictive Gaming Raijin picking up the swift 2-0 and securing their 1st place spot in this division. I honestly cannot wait to see them in the playoffs. They've got 2 more games left to play. But yeah, I honestly, one of the more dominant teams we've seen. I do think that throughout this this division, they had a bit of an easier time. This was one of the divisions that I thought was a little bit weaker on the weaker side, but Predictive Gaming definitely looking really strong. And yeah, great job to them.
Yeah, they definitely did. I felt like that overall the past two games they showed us a little bit something different, but they seem to really like the Echo Cassiopeia 1-2 combo right there. And then they showed us they could put a defensive bot lane in there and it looks great. They could put the more aggressive bot lane in there and it looks great. Or and they could swap out the junglers as they made a couple of different jungle selections in this series as well. And I think honestly they continue to answer any potential questions we can even think of out of the back. Out of the any question you could just maybe come out without them. They answer it.
Yeah.
And so that's obviously something that they've done a really good job with. I'm very excited to see how they're going to handle the other top teams once they start playing up against them in the playoffs. And when you're looking here for Black Mamba Esports Academy, there were some good signs, but they couldn't ever string it together here against the top team in their group. And this is going to now set up. They obviously will be getting a bit of a breather in the next week as they'll be playing MCG Mammoths, and that's obviously something that's a little bit based on how they've looked so far this year. It's going to be a bit of a tune-up game, I would think, tune-up series for them. Make sure they're ready to roll because that next series is going to be very, very important. Because Fierce Force Bravo, they're going to be playing up against Predictive Gaming Raijin next week, and assuming that goes as expected, Black Mamba Esports, I believe they just got to win and they're in, and that's all we got to it.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to have an interview here. A quick shout out to Predictive Gaming for the Prime sub. Really appreciate that, guys. And thanks for all the viewers who have stuck around. We do have Bluebird and Flopper Goblin here for the interview. You guys did awesome tonight. Congratulations. Absolutely deserved win there. You guys are now 4-0 in this division. How are you guys feeling looking at the next two teams you have to play? You've already beat them once and moving on to playoffs. How do you guys feel about that? Sorry, Bluebird, go first.
I think it feels really good. Like, I feel like my team is just really strong. We're pulling it out. We're just game day feels like we just all of a sudden we just play so much better. Like game days where we just 100% try hard and it just works. I feel like every time game day comes around, we just play really well. And then being 4-0 in our division, it just feels really good that we're pulling out the W's.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I guess. Oh, I mean, you can go ahead. Sorry, continue.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, well, I have a question for you, Blue, and up first here. So what's going through your head when you're going through that? You pick up that triple kill in the bottom lane after picking up the third dragon of the game. I mean, that was a super critical objective that you guys managed to secure, and then you managed to get all the way out without any problems until they walked into the tri-burst right there, and then it was looking kind of bad for you guys. It looked like it could even be a 3-0 for them, but in the end, you managed to just turn it around and make it. I believe ended up being a 3-1. So walk us through that moment. What was it kind of for you?
Are you talking about when they dived?
Yeah, when they tried to dive you guys
we were losing. Yeah, I remember. I think this is the way I remember. I remember we were in the river and we saw a numbers disadvantage, I think, and we got chasing down to the to our bot tower, and then I mean I thought some of us were gonna die as we were running down, but all of us managed to get out and we just went into the tower, and then they just like dived us. I don't understand. And then like I remember they all targeted me, but they just didn't do enough damage. They were just too far behind, and then we have tower and then I just ran I just auto attacked the closest person to me, and then they just died. And honestly, that was almost a pentakill because when I killed all three of them, and then as I was like chasing, that Cassin didn't have any mana, so he flashed over, and then my arrow whiffed. I shot an arrow, but I don't know, he got enough mana or something, but he jumped over the dragon pit when I thought he was just going to jump forward. And if we got that, I think I probably could have got the pentakill, because that would have been pretty long stun, because arrow's really long. But that was my thought process. It felt really good.
Yeah, that was a bit of a sketch play in the river there, but you guys definitely pulled it out. I think there was an item advantage for you there.
Yeah, definitely. We were ahead, and then they just kind of just like it was looking good for them. They walked through the tri-bush. They were running us down like we couldn't do anything. But as soon as I mean, it's just a classic. Like if they run into the tower, it's like there's nowhere more to run, so you have to fight.
Yeah,
and it just turned out to be really, really good. And they like it's like they were kind of non-committal. Like they kind of went in and then they just kind of ran out. And then Ash, I mean, I'm just gonna slow you. And then I just it just didn't work out for them.
Yeah, it definitely didn't. So Flopper Goblin, I wanted to ask you in the second game there, we saw the echo into Kassadin, and judging by how well you did in the lane before, we were thinking that lane was going to be a smash. The Kassadin ended up trading pretty evenly level 1, and you ended up having the lane swap. How does that match up? How did that feel to you? Like, I thought it was kind of a surprise.
I think most people would believe that the Kassadin loses pretty hard to the Echo, but what you have to understand, it's not the champ, it's the person piloting the champ.
Sure.
And I'm not that good, so it just is what it is, right? I get put on Echo because he's relatively easy, and I can just throw Qs and farm the wave.
Well, I think you played pretty well throughout that game. It was a bit of a rough early game, but you definitely brought it back later on.
Yeah, he played it really well with the electrocute. He traded really well. He honestly,
he did.
I couldn't all in him. It was just push and roam, I think, at that point. And my team just, they just carried both games. My team's so good.
Dude, I remember that there was a play that you made. I think it was the first game, and I got hooked. And me and Brom, we were like chasing back, and then we were starting to lose. But then there was a TP behind them, and then we just double killed that dude. Oh, it was so good. Felt really good.
So I also wanted to ask, dropping a game to Revenge Nation Turquoise last night, was that in your head at all going into this matchup?
I don't recall ever losing.
Dude, I actually don't know what it is with that team, dude. Like that team actually feels so good. Like I don't know, dude. Like they must have our number or something. But we've played them twice now. We're actually 0-2 to them, and they just.
Oh my gosh!
And even when we play them, I feel like it's not even close. Like we actually just get wrecked.
All right. Well, the other thing is too, when we play them, I like to try to use my feet instead of my hands.
Yeah.
Do you also try to play without the monitor too? Do you just have it turned off?
Yeah, it's kind of a handicap.
Okay, because we were talking about that earlier. It's like, can you cast without using the main monitor? That's kind of where we were getting at to there. I do actually have one more question for you, Flopper, which was how did what was it like, I guess, for that game one? Because the beginning for you was kind of interesting because it was like you got a gank, and then it ended up going south at the end of the day. And then literally like a minute later, you picked up like 3 kills. You picked up another 2 kills in the river because everybody got collapsed on like a minute at like 3 minutes into the game. Like what kind of, was that crazy to somewhat planned, or was it just more of like, oh, hey, there's a free opportunity here, let's go get it?
No, that wasn't planned at all. What the first time when the Urgot, I guess Poppy was coming in for a gank and Urgot was already there. I don't think anyone on our team really understands what in the world Urgot, like his pathing or anything is, so it's all kind of a crapshoot for us, like trying to guess what he's doing. But I didn't realize he was going to be that strong either in the beginning, so I gave him both kills kind of. But then I think he overextended a little bit trying to go up into our bot river when we had vision of him, and he got a spicy stun, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an interesting one because I was watching that and I was like, I don't think he touched the wall, considering he went right by it on the in the game view that we had. It was like he never touched the wall. He just kind of slid right on by. So I was kind of surprised that he got stunned there. But I mean, obviously you guys did a really good job rotating, and your team vision was really impressive as well. Like, was that something that you guys like actively focus on? Because you guys did a really good job with making sure that your vision was going to stay, and you guys did a great job just kind of slowly pushing it in without getting yourselves caught out.
I wouldn't say the vision was something we focused on. A lot of times when I'm playing, I just focus on my lane and what's going on mechanics wise, and I let the shot caller basically tell me what else to do.
Dude, I literally bought one pink ward in both of the games.
Well, you played Ash the second game, so it's fine because you can just you can press E twice in the whole game and it makes up for it.
Yeah, I feel like every time I get Ash, like I actually just perma know where the jungler is. Like I like just the hawk shot. Just like, why do you need wards? I have hawk shot. I don't know.
Alrighty, well, congratulations on the win tonight, guys. Bluebird, real quick, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Yes, like, because he does everything for our team. He captains, he organizes, he does everything. He shot calls, he has insane game knowledge, he tells us what to do, he does everything. Thank you, Sly. And Swag.
Sly is a madman. Yeah.
Dude, Sly's insane.
Yeah, he's everywhere all at once. He's crazy guy. Flopper Goblin, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I have a couple. I want to go the opposite route and shout out the real bot lane carry, Mr. Bonehard.
Oh my gosh.
That man's a monster.
He's a sleeper, dude. He doesn't even talk much when we play, but good God, he talks with his hooks.
Yeah.
And
Bonehard, he's insane.
He's getting pretty spicy with some of those.
I believe it, dude. But I also wanted to shout out just the rest of Predictive Gaming and the rest of my team. Everyone just plays so well. It makes the game more fun too when everyone is like just on point. And then I wanted to shout out my brother who's watching the stream right now too.
Oh,
that's sweet.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Well, thank you guys for coming on, doing an interview with us, and congratulations on your win. We're excited to see you guys in the next 2 weeks and moving in towards playoffs. But guys, don't go too far because we do have another game on Friday, 8 p.m. It's going to be World Class Splash versus Cash Money Esports. You're not going to want to miss it. But yeah, I am the small dog, and we're signing off. I thank you all for watching. And again, huge shout out to everybody who subbed today, everybody who followed, and shout out to the production crew who makes this happen. Really appreciate you guys. And until next time, see you guys later.